everyone. So my name is Lauren Williams. I am an educator, a cosmetology educator here at the Aveda Arts and Science Institute of Baton Rouge. Um, and I've been an educator for about a little over 2 years now. And right now I have the opportunity to be working with our fundamentals class. So um, just a little bit about our cosmetology program. We have several different programs that we offer at Aveda Institute, but I'm going to be talking about just our COS program. If you have any questions, feel free to put those in the chat. And Ms. Lane is my co-host. She'll be reading some of those questions off to me if you guys have any questions or just any general concerns you have about COS, if you're nervous, what to expect, all of that good stuff. I would like this to be really interactive, so y'all please by all means raise your hand if you have a question, and then you can tune in to, you can ask me anything that you want to ask, because I know coming into cosmetology school, we have this expectation of what we think it's going to be like. And then a lot of our students, they come in and they figure out within the first week it's completely not what they thought it was going to be. So just a little background, our COS program encompasses hair cutting, hair coloring, nail and skin education, and also makeup application. So it encompasses the entire umbrella of everything, all things beauty, whereas the other programs are kind of specialized to only deal with skin or only deal with nails. Within your cosmetology license, it will encompass an umbrella just about every single thing. So at Aveda Institutes, we have what we call phases. Phases are 10 weeks long, and for each phase, you learn a certain amount of skill set. Once you have completed that 10 weeks, once you've completed all of your assessments, all of your tests, and all of your practical work, which I'll get to that in a minute, then you phase on to the next phase. And we have 5 phases. Your first phase is fundamentals. Your second phase is our methods phase. The next phase is our concepts phase, and your concepts phase. So your fundamentals and your methods phase are both on the classroom side. It is 6 months of book work where we cover theory. So it covers the why behind the what we do. So of course you all know what we do. We style hair, we do makeup, we apply nails. However, you need to know the theory behind it. So it's not just coming to school, working on a mannequin, learning skills, and executing on a mannequin. It's also theory-based. So fundamentals and methods, which are your first 20 weeks of school, you'll be on the classroom side, and you'll be learning the theory and the practical side of everything. Then once you get to your concepts phase is where we combine the two. So concepts phase is where you are in the classroom part-time, and then you're on the clinic floor part-time. Then once you go to your fusions and your artistry phase, which is our top 2 level phases, you're completely on the clinic floor 100% of the day, taking real live guests every single day. And I'll go into depth about that a little later. So the first thing, fundamentals phase. Fundamentals is where you actually get all of your foundation. It is where we teach shear handling. It is where we teach basic color theory. It is where we teach you about hair and skin and nail disorders and diseases. And again, it covers both the theory and the practical. This is where you get your foundation. This is where we correct some of those bad habits you guys might have had. So I always joke with my students, and I call YouTube the YouTube School of Cosmetology. It's where we correct those bad habits, where you might have been, some of you guys might have been doing hair prior to coming to cosmetology school, and you've developed a few little bad habits. It's where we correct those habits, and also why, where we explain to you the why behind the what we do. We teach you body positioning. We teach you just basic building muscle memory so that you can do things the correct way. We teach you basic color theory. So you learn the color wheel, you learn formulas, how to formulate colors. So Aveda has this very unique color line. And unlike most other color lines, Aveda is where you can completely make your own color, customize your own color per guest. So it's not just something that you just squeeze out of a tube and every single guest gets the same thing depending on what color they want. The Aveda color line is completely customizable, so you can completely make it your own. Each individual client can completely have their own color formula, and it's not just an ABC 1, 2, 3 kind of color. So we learn formulations, we teach you all of the grammage, all of that good stuff. That is what you get in fundamentals. Moving on to methods, you'll get more in-depth, so we build on top of what we do in fundamentals. In fundamentals is also where, in the classroom is where you will get live demos just about every day, depending on what skill we'll be learning. So we get, say it's hair cutting. What will happen is we will give you the theory behind the hair cutting. I will teach you all the angles, how to hold the hair, elevation, graduation, all of those things. I will teach you all the technical terms for what we do, as opposed to some of the street slang that you learn when dealing with hair. You'll start to learn the professional technical terms for it. After that, you get a video presentation, and then you'll get a live demo from your educator, and then you'll be able to actually jump on your mannequin and practice that practical. And that's what happens in both fundamentals and methods. In fundamentals, you get your foundation, and methods, we build on that foundation. And so that's normally how it goes. Once you graduate to concepts, you leave the classroom building and you come over to the clinic floor. And again, you're in, but it's a process. We don't just throw you on the clinic floor and expect you to start taking guests. We still train you on all of our professional jargon, and you'll have the opportunity to learn in the classroom, but also take guests as well. So not only will you just have just book work, just theory work, but you'll also be taking guests. This is where you start with your basic blow dry methods. You'll do basic pedicures, manicures. If you are savvy with makeup, we'll even let you do some makeup and some waxing in your concepts phase. The next phase you'll be moving on to is fusions. Fusions is where you've kind of gotten your bearings on the clinic floor, but you haven't quite mastered everything. However, with fusions, we'll be focusing in on your state board practical. So each student is required by law to pass both a written exam and a practical exam. For Louisiana State Board of Cosmetology, you must pass both to become a licensed cosmetologist. And so with fusions, we focus in on your practical exam. So we've given you all of the information that you need for your national written exam, your national and your state written exam in fundamentals and methods with the theory portion of it. And now moving into your fusions phase is where we start to really dive in for your practical exam for your state board. Your state board consists of 5 different practical exams where you will have to do a state board comb out. You will have to practice wet work, which is all of the wet hair techniques as far as rolling on rollers, finger waving, pin curling, skip waving. You'll have a chemical practical head, which you will practice. It's 5 panels, and you'll practice each one of our chemical exams: chemical relaxer, virgin bleach, floral highlights, color retouch. And then the last practical, of course, is you will have to perform a haircut from beginning to end, and it's a 90-degree haircut. So in fusions, we focus in on your state board practical, and we give you the opportunity to do a mock practical. So it kind of works off that anxiety. So you're not going into your state board exam just blind. We actually give you an opportunity to go through the exam just like you would at State Board from top to bottom. We time everything. And if in the event you haven't mastered a skill, we'll work with you one-on-one to help you master that skill and to master your timing as well, because it is a timed exam. And then last but not least, you have artistry, which is your last 10 weeks of our COS program. And with artistry, you completely take guests every single day, the entire duration of your day. And we also focus in on State Board, but more so mastering the pieces of the State Board exam that you haven't yet mastered. So instead of the broad entire State Board exam that you get during fusion, during your fusion phase, for your artistry, it's kind of like if you're struggling in one area or the next, then you have the opportunity to hone in on that one area you might be struggling in and getting some one-on-one time with your educator. So that just about encompasses the entire COS program. Does anybody have any questions for me?
Y'all can just drop the questions in the chat.
I know somebody has to have a question. Don't be scared. Somebody, anybody. So just a little background while we wait for the bashfulness to kind of wear off. A lot of people expect a certain thing from COS school. So they have this notion in their head that you'll come to school and you'll play with a mannequin all day. And that is completely not just that. That is a part of what we do, but it's not the entire thing. You will also not come in and just do your own hair and your own makeup every single day. This is actually college. We have a full curriculum where you will actually have book work, you will have homework, you will have tests, you will have exams. You'll also have what we call practical assessments. So throughout each phase, you will have to learn a certain number of skill sets. We want to make sure that you have perfected those to the best of your knowledge. And so we give you practical exams. Alrighty, I see some questions rolling in. Let's see what we got here.
Yeah, so Katie asks, tell us why you chose Aveda.
I chose Aveda because Aveda, it represents just luxury. So we use the term around till all the time. We use the term looks. And from the very minute that you step on the Aveda campus, as opposed to any other of the cosmetology campuses, you automatically feel that luxuriousness of our campus. It's a beautiful campus. Everything is high end. They really do take time to pay attention to the very small details. They really care about their students, care about the education that you get, and making sure that we absolutely prepare you for State Board. The purpose of you coming here is to gain your cosmetology license and to actually work in the industry. The other thing that I absolutely love about Aveda is it's not just a education experience. After your education is done, we make sure that if you have a desire to work in a salon, that we bridge that gap between you leaving cosmetology school and you becoming an actual skilled professional doing this every single day. So that's probably the most exciting thing about Aveda, because a lot of the other COS programs, they don't. Once you're done, you're done. But Aveda, we kind of keep tabs on you after you've completed your education. You build lifelong relationships with both your educators and your fellow classmates. I have students right now who are going through the Paris Parker orientation and training, where they have moved from the Aveda Institute into a Paris Parker salon, and they're going to be full-time stylists. They've kept those connections between the school and the salon. And so to have a school that cares enough to help you bridge that gap is amazing. Again, I still have students that reach out to me if they need help with something, if they don't understand something. So your education doesn't stop once you clock your 1,500 hours. We still extend our knowledge and what we have to pour into our students. We extend that past your 1,500 hours. All righty. Next question.
What?
What are the most common bad habits you encounter with new students? And do you have any suggestions for things we should learn before attending Aveda? The number one, probably most bad habit that you guys come into is y'all watch a lot of YouTube videos. And while YouTube videos are wonderful, there are a lot of non-licensed stylists on YouTube, and they give you guys just a lot of bad information or incorrect or inaccurate information. And because you've been watching those videos so long and you've been at home doing your own hair or your own color services or your own chemical services or your own haircuts, you build a lot of bad muscle memory in there. And so we have to correct that. We have to correct those tendencies, and we have to correct that information and give you accurate information as opposed to the inaccurate information you get on YouTube. So that's the number one thing. Stay away from YouTube, School of Cosmetology. And I would say a suggestion of things you should learn before attending Aveda, just come with an open mind. Come with the mindset that I don't know everything, that I'm here to learn, that I'm here to grow, that I'm here to become better. That is the best advice that I could give you coming into cos school. But as far as skills, we got you on that part. Like, we'll make sure you're up to par by the time you leave here and that we've corrected those bad habits. But I would say just come with an open mindset. Somebody asked what to expect on my very first day. Expect a little anxiety, expect a little nervousness, because as with anything, you're coming into this just fresh and new and you're walking into the unknown. But again, you'll see a lot of bright faces. You'll see a lot of positive attitudes here at Aveda. We pride ourselves on complete wellness, and that includes emotional, mental, physical, wellness as a whole. And so your first day of orientation, we really just hone in on getting to know you, you guys getting to know us, and then we tap you into our culture. And our culture is just wellness. You mentioned every phase takes about 10 weeks. Also, what can we expect? Also, what can we expect a week off classes to look like? Is it classes every day? A week of classes, I'm thinking. Is it classes every day? We have different schedules for different campuses. Our campus happens to be a Wednesday through Saturday campus. However, you can expect to be in class every single day. We handle theory and practical every single day. You show up at a specific time. We do have attendance policies and time policies, so you have to arrive at school for a certain time. You have to be clocked in for a certain time. You have to have all of your things set up for a certain time. But absolutely, we show up every single day.
Yeah, and again, if you want to talk to an admissions manager, that'll be in the resources tab, and they can talk more about your specific campus and what schedules that they offer at that campus.
Right, because certain campuses offer different schedules, but here at AASI-BR, we offer a Wednesday through Saturday schedule. And then we also offer a makeup day on Tuesday. In the event you had to miss school for a doctor's appointment or you had an emergency during the week and you weren't able to get to school, we offer it as a courtesy to make sure that you guys don't fall behind on your hours. We offer a makeup day. Now, what's new about Aveda Institute is we are remote. So traditionally, you guys would come to school every single day. You would be in class with an instructor. However, now, because of COVID and all of the things going on with the pandemic, we now offer remote classes where, just like you're seeing me on a Zoom, you will have an educator dedicated to your particular phase. They will offer instruction via Zoom. You, however, will be at home. You can set up your mannequin. We'll show you how to set up your mannequin, how to set up your stand, how to set up what we call your lux, which is all of your tools, how we lay them out, because we do have a specific way that we lay everything out. And we have different protocol for how we do every practical. And so we'll walk you through that. You'll set up at home, turn your cameras on, become visible, pop on, and you'll be able to follow along. So that is amazing, because this was a complete 100% vocational program, and we found a way to translate that into an online program for you guys. It's really one of a kind. It's top tier. When I say it is wonderful, and it is pretty much seamless. So everything that you can do at home, that will translate into you coming to the campus. Again, we have a hybrid campus in where you'll be remote some days, and then you'll actually physically come to campus other days. Anybody else got any questions? We have about 5 more minutes before we have to get off. So Ms. Katie made a great point. She was saying that you guys will be 100% remote during the pandemic, which means you will have an educator for our entire region, right, Katie? And you guys will be 100% remote. Where can I find the schedule out for Covington? You can tap into the resources tab, and you can find who your admissions counselor is for the Covington campus, and they'll be able to give you the Covington schedule. So we're hoping to get back to the campus as soon as possible, but because of the 6 feet social distancing restraints, so you guys will be 100% remote throughout your fundamentals phase, and then from there, they'll give you some more information. But I promise you, don't be nervous about remote. I can attest that when we first started remote, we were all a little apprehensive about how it was gonna go, but so far so good. It has been completely seamless. I would say make sure you check to make sure you have a clear Wi-Fi connection or internet connection, because that's gonna be key with you handling remote. But outside of that, as long as your internet connection is good, trust me, it is seamless. So don't be weary about being 100% remote. We have some wonderful educators, and they have curtailed our curriculum from a vocational curriculum to a online remote curriculum. They are so much fun, such upbeat, high energy educators, and trust me, you guys will be just fine, and you will have a blast actually. And so I hope you guys are looking forward to that. How long is the fundamental phase? Fundamentals each phase is 10 weeks. Now I will say this, in the event that you do not take all of your tests or get all of your grades in on time or meet our practical quota. So for each phase, you have a certain amount of quotas that you have to meet each phase, and we give you sheets. You have to completely fill that. So you have a certain amount of each practical that you have to do each phase. In the event that you do not do that, or that you miss too many tests, you can be held back in the phase until you meet that requirement. You can also be held back if your attendance drops below a certain percentage. So you need to make sure that you're showing up for class on time, that you are present, and that you stay the entire day. It is critical, it is crucial, especially during the fundamentals phase, because that is where you get the meat of your education. So you want to make sure that your schedule will allow you to complete the full 10 weeks and not have to miss too much time. Otherwise, you can risk being held back. So we don't want that for any of you guys. And but of course, working remote is a little easier to meet that that attendance required. You're welcome. I think it's Ryan. I like the way you spell your name, by the way. It's non-traditional. But yeah, so it's 10 weeks. Each phase is 10 weeks. And we pack a lot into those 10 weeks. So make sure you guys are showing up every single day, positive attitude, open mind. and heart and willing to learn. So I've enjoyed my time with you guys today. I hope I answered all of your questions, and in the event that I didn't, again, reach out to your admissions counselor, and they can help bridge the gap for any questions that I didn't quite catch today.
Yay, thanks, Lauren. So much good information.